Rin gets to understand how Daji is still feared throughout their country because she gets put into this illusion of her and Alton. Now, in this illusion, Alton is kissing her, and it's not what she wanted, but it kind of gives me conflicting feelings because in the first book, she obviously has a crush on him. And towards the ending of the first book, she kind of did expect for Alton to kiss her, a farewell kiss. And here, she doesn't want that. So I'm a little upset, confused about Rin's reaction because her reaction is that her like stomach dropped and it's not what she wanted. Is it though? I don't want to say this, but I feel like this moment is a I'm not like other girls moment. Because what do you mean it's not what you wanted, Rin? You've been infatuated with Alton since book 1, and you kind of expected something to happen at the ending of book 1. It's okay for Rin to have these feelings for Alton. I find that totally reasonable. We've all had some sort of infatuation with someone before. For Rin to kind of deny that, or for RF Kwan to deny that for Rin and her character, it's kind of, I can see that you didn't want Rin to be like, oh, she's not like other girls. She doesn't want Alton to kiss her. You know, that's not Rin. But it makes sense for Rin to be that way because of book 1 and because of book 2 as well. Alton wouldn't come to her in her, not only this illusion, but her dreams or her subconscious, if Rin didn't have some sort of feelings for him. She feels guilt, but I think it's more than that. Subconsciously, maybe she's trying to deny it. And it's okay for Rin to have these mixed feelings for Alton. We've all had moments of infatuation with other people, and it's okay. We get over it. And it's okay for Rin to have this moment to herself and figure out what she's feeling. I don't like the way it's written here because it does feel like Rin is not like other girls. She doesn't want Alton to kiss her because it's not like that. There's no shame in her feelings and her wants and her needs. Her questions need to be answered. And if this is a moment where she can kind of say, oh, it's not what I expected, or maybe I don't, oh, you know, maybe I actually don't have feelings that way for Alton. I think this moment really could have cleared a lot of things up with Rin and her feelings, because obviously she's having feelings for Nezha and maybe some feelings for the Viceroy. And I don't want to say that in a nasty way. Rin gives herself away really, really easily. If she sees that you are this authority figure in her life, she gets attached emotionally. It's okay to have something you can't have, Rin. For me, I think I would have liked more clarification in her feelings for Alton instead of being it kind of subtle and kind of like maybe read between the lines, maybe, oh, you know, it's still a kind of up in the air kind of thing. For me, it was just unclear, and I would have liked some clarity in this moment. Even though I give Rin a hard time, especially when it comes to her and her feelings for Alton, I think it's okay for her to figure it out, especially in this moment where even though it's an illusion, it's still a really strong illusion. And I wish you would realize something more like blunt in this moment. Anyways, we move on and we get to see the snake Daji has inside of her, or her goddess inside of her, and the phoenix pops up, kind of protecting Rin. I don't want to say it's protection like Naruto and the nine-tailed foxes. The phoenix will take advantage of Rin, and if Rin doesn't manage to get out of this, the phoenix is kind of still stuck in limbo. So she needs to protect Rin. And when the phoenix and the snake kind of go head to head, I absolutely love this part. I love moments between two powerful forces coming together and like talking and fighting it out. It's so cool. I love it a lot. And when the phoenix is kind of challenging the snake, the snake is like, don't mess with me, Phoenix. I was here when the world was just beginning or something. And it just reminds me of when the lion told the witch, do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was created. I love the lore. I really like the lore that R.F. Kuang has here in her books. And so Rin is having a hard time with Daji, and surprisingly, I totally forgot that Chagan enters the chat room. I totally forgot how strong it kind of like goes over my head of whenever we talk about Chagan and how powerful he is. And here is a true like demonstration of how strong of a shaman he is. He's been training all his life, and not only that, he is a prodigy as well. So for him, he was able to repel the snake away, and the three of them were able to jump back to reality. It's funny because Chagan saw the kiss between Alton and Rin, and he's like, get a hold of yourself, which is hilarious. I love it. Yikes. For me, that would have been really embarrassing. But we move on. The way they escape is like comedy. It's like comedic gold because they escape because of Ramsan poop bombs. And imagining the Empress with poop all over herself is so freaking hilarious. There's like all these little golden nuggets that are just too funny and throughout the book. And I think R.F. Kuang should do like a comedy, a comedic novel. I think she would do really good. They're running away, and Rin wants to go save Visera. Jeez Louise. Funny part over. Now we get into the serious part again. Chaga and Rin are running away, and Chaga is explaining that the coup is over. Visera's probably dead. He can't protect you anymore. And Rin has this enlightenment moment of her saying that maybe she does need someone to control her and someone to give her orders. She needs to be used, which is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's frustrating because Rin is giving her power away again to someone who doesn't deserve it. And I understand that this is, just a story and it's going through it's just her character development. It's frustrating because Rin is giving away her power again to someone who doesn't deserve it. As an adult listening to this, it's upsetting because she is so young and she's giving her power away to someone who's manipulating her. It feels so realistic when I'm listening to the audiobook, because I feel like in the audiobook we get a lot of emotion when the narrator is reading her lines. So I feel it, I think, much more. Again, as an adult, I feel kind of yucky and really sad when I see this young girl who's clearly just traumatized and lost, and she has no sense of self. It's really sad to see her giving away herself, just her whole self, to someone, an older person who is just happy to use her and is grooming her to be his little pet. It gives me the yuck. Rin has this opportunity to actually be free of Visera, and she has this opportunity to take her psyche with her. She is the commander of the psyche. She needs to protect them. I don't understand why that's not something drilled inside her head. How many times has she been told the psyche protect their own, the psyche stick together, we have to protect one another? It's like, Rin, I understand you are having trouble with yourself, but you need to start thinking of people outside of you need to start thinking of the people who are under your care. And she doesn't even consider the psych when she goes off to find Visera. And I hate to say this because I don't like Alton at all, but Alton would consider the psych. He would think about the psych. And it's just Rin doesn't think about anybody other than herself. She should never have been with the psych to begin with. It's pretty obvious that she just doesn't belong with them. Even though she does have a god inside of her and she summoned this phoenix or whatever, I think she would have been a better fit as a soldier if she allowed herself to be one under Alton's command. Putting her in the psych, putting her under Alton was a really, really big mistake in her life path, because she's a complicated character. She takes orders, she doesn't take orders. She fights against authority. She wants to be ruled by an authoritative figure. She's going back and forth, back and forth. It just shows that she is a mess, and that she has no self. Like, she doesn't understand herself either. She's literally taking the easy way out, and that's to have someone control her. If you want to be used by Visera, then go for it. But you have Ramsa, Baji, Sumi, the twins, the water shaman. They're all looking for you for command. They are all committed to you. And her psyche follow her into battle where Visera is. I can concede to the fact that Baji and Sumi thrive in chaotic, warlike environment. But imagine if they did leave. They could have been mercenaries for hire. And they could have left the country. They could have done so much. And it would be tough, but they would be together and they would be a lot safer where they are now, especially because I know the future events of what's going to happen. And Rin has these opportunities to be free and to look after her psyche, to make sure that they are okay, and that she can find, or together they can find something else. But no, because Rin is selfish and she is conceited. She's a troubled young lady. You could say that the Baji, who's older as well, is able to take command, but he doesn't want to. A lot of them don't want the responsibility or don't have that leadership role. So I can see that Rin is bearing a lot, but Alton wanted you to be the leader and you decided to continue being the leader. Chagan could be the leader, even though it's questionable whether or not the psyche will follow Chagan. So I understand the burden Rin is carrying, but she's not carrying it at all. When they go save Visera, they make it just in time. It looks like his plan is not doing so well. Sumi and Baji help Rin rescue him, and they get out just in time with the help of the water shaman. They get back to the ship. Rin has like this awkward moment with the twins because they both saw the illusion between her and Alton. Rin has this urge to kind of explain herself. She says that it's not what you think. It's not like that anymore. Maybe it was before, but not anymore. Something like that. And the twins give her some slack, and they are actually quite kind, and they say, we know, like, we get it. Wait a second. I don't know. What do you know? I want to know what you know. And they don't explain this whole situation at all. There's no clarification what they know. Is it like, do you know that Rin felt that way for Alton? Like, everybody sees it, of course, but do you know that maybe, do you feel the same because Chagan, or feels the same way for Alton, but he was brushed off by Alton? There's a lot of question marks around here, and I don't like that there's not enough clarification when it comes to romantic feelings in R.F. Kuang's books. She does it with Babel, which I've read, and there's no real further like explanation of the feelings that these characters have. And it's annoying because why have romance or these romantic plots when you're not just gonna use them or explain them? I would like a clarification. It can be like this huge, very cheesy moment, but as long as you're explaining it, this is like your opportunity to explain what the character is feeling. I don't like to be left hanging. There are some moments where you can read between the lines, but I don't think this is one of them. She continues to not confront her feelings. For Alton, I guess you can say Rin just doesn't like confrontation of what she feels. But as a listener, I personally would like something more than, oh, we know, we understand, we get it. Like, no, I personally don't know. I don't get it. Can you please explain it to me? I have a little beef with Arif Kwan when it comes to her dealing with romance. Anyways, it's nice that the twins go easy on Rin, especially Chagan since he's so hard on her. It's a really nice moment between the three of them. They don't get kind moments together. I totally kind of forgot about this. And it's the part when Nezha and Rin, they have a moment and it's a little surprising how little time they actually spent together in the book so far. But we get a conversation where Nezha knows about Kitai's father and how he was told not to say anything by his father. Rin is upset and says, I don't want to be lied to. And Nezha flat out says, I would never lie to you. I gasped. I literally gasped at this part because I totally forgot that he does say this. And it is like a slap to the freaking face. The first time listening to this, I believed him, but it hits differently when you're reading it the second time or listening to it the second time. It shows how easily Nezha can lie to Rin and to Kitai. And of course, he learned it from his father. He's been lying since book 1. And I am a Nezha fan, so this hurts. And I just want to keep emphasizing these moments where Nezha is not the most trustworthy person. Let's move on. The time has come where Rin and Viceroy are talking after coming back from the Empress and the failed coup, I guess. Rin admits to be lost and not knowing what to do. And I think the most important part of this, she doesn't want to be blamed for certain things or for things in general. Rin's done a lot already, and I keep saying it, she runs away from it. I do feel pity for her, but she's made these decisions, and when she starts to backtrack on her decisions, after people telling her the possible consequences of these decisions, it's when I start to get really upset and mad. She's not really a long-term thinker. She's a short-term thinker. And of course, she's in this survivor mode. So I don't blame her for needing an authoritative figure in her life. Rin starts to get emotional because the other warlords called her a dog. Me being old, this wouldn't affect me at all. I would just laugh it off. I have my pride and I have my ego, but I'm not giving these warlords an inch of my time or power. I've grown as a person because I read books. There's this other books, Moon Call, that I absolutely adore, and I feel like reading more adult books made me realize that how immature I am. So when I read more adult books, I feel like I've grown more and I understand how much power I actually do have. So when I go back to YA, which I hardly do, I don't like to do it, but when I do, I hear these kids like Rin giving away their power over something these people say, it's like, no, oh no. This is one, why I don't read YA, because I get upset. But two, it's like during these situations, it's so understandable why children get influenced really easily. I remember when I was young, and if I was reading this at the same age Rin is, maybe what, 19, I think I would also take it personally. So I know that it hurts for someone to call you like a dog, and it hurts her, and she knows that everyone wants to take advantage of her. And Visera is no different. Visera becomes like this father figure to Rin in this moment. I also feel manipulated by Visera being this kind, quotation marks, person, because he's not kind. He doesn't care about Rin. I believe that Visera is one of the villains of this series. He's one of them. When Rin starts to cry, Visera tells her to be strong, and it doesn't come from a genuine place. Like if my father told me to be strong if I'm crying, for me that's genuine. When it comes to Visera, it comes from a controlling place, because for him, when she's erect, she's useless to him. When she sees him supporting her, that's when he has the most control. He does ask why she doesn't run off, and she goes on this spew of needing direction, and she doesn't know who she is, that she is the last of her kind, and that there is true sadness and being alone. So I can give her some slack there, but that doesn't excuse her decisions. Her giving in to Visera means that she is still running away from her problems and her choices. She doesn't want to admit what she's done. She's giving all her baggage to him because she doesn't want to carry it herself. We move on to Nezha waking up Kitai and Rin to see his home. It's in the early morning, and there's a lot of foreshadowing here. And one of them is the Red Cliffs, where we learn that Nezha lost his little brother here, and he himself had a very tragic accident happen to him. There's also some scripts written that translate to something like nothing lasts, which is eerie since the three of them are standing together facing in the direction of this huge event in book 3.